So as you can see, we've got the poll in process. So go ahead, everyone can answer the poll, even the participants, so that you know how you're doing today. It's really easy. We just want to know if you're excited about what's going on. We want to know how your work processes are and see that we can actually help facilitate them. We have another amazing webinar, and I say amazing because our participants and obviously our panelists are what make it so amazing. They take time out of their busy schedules, as you do, to make sure that we're getting the right information to actually direct our skills in a better manner. So we have an amazing timeline today. We've got Vitek. Vitek Lazivlev is the founder of Square Motion. And I think when they talk about Square Motion, he is definitely thinking outside the box. There's nothing square about this at all. A Dubai-based video marketing agency. He's a certified LinkedIn coach and helps business owners and entrepreneurs to use LinkedIn for their business growth. And I think that is vital. I think sometimes we kind of put ourselves on the back burner and we forget to clean up our LinkedIn presence. I am as guilty as charged. So when you guys start checking in on LinkedIn, you'll know that for sure. But I'm pretty sure after this session with VTech, we've got this under control. In this webinar, he will teach you all the basic tips and strategies how to use LinkedIn in your business. Oh, great. We're going to have some great stuff happening. You will learn how to create a killer LinkedIn profile. Well, I'm ready. I always want to have a killer LinkedIn profile. How to write about a summary, how to engage your target audience on LinkedIn, and how and what to post on LinkedIn. I think that is vital. How to drive your business from LinkedIn, and obviously many other useful things. Oh, good. So we've got our poll up. It says, how are you feeling today? Hey, you know that every time we do one of our webinars, I'll be very honest with you, it is absolutely amazing. Every week, people are starting to feel better. So now you learned that we are having a special offer, obviously for the, COVID has hit businesses so hard. We want to make sure we're giving back. So if you want to reach out to us, we're there for you. We've got a lot of early birds. So as they say, VTech, the early bird catches the worm. So I think this is the perfect time for you to step on in and tell us how we can do that.
Thank you very much, Diana. It was, it's very nice, and thank you for your very kind words and introduction. Obviously, I'm very happy and honored to be here speaking to members of Canadian Business Council, and I'm really happy that I have this opportunity. And that, as you mentioned, these days we're trying to give back, we're trying to educate and help one another, and we are all hit, more or less by the situation. So this is just my little way how I'm trying to give back to my fellow business owners, trying to help them with their LinkedIn profiles, with their LinkedIn presence. And I hope these next 40 or so minutes will be useful for all of you. So I'm going to start sharing my screen. I hope that's it. So yeah, today we're going to talk about how to use LinkedIn in my business, and I think it's a very interesting topic, which a lot of us we would like to know what to do and how. And obviously, I would like to just shortly introduce myself, even though Diana did an absolutely amazing job. Yeah, as you mentioned, this is my name. My name is Vitek Ladislav. I'm actually originally from Prague, from Czech Republic, but for the last 8 years, I've been living and working here in Dubai. We do a lot of different activities. One of them is we have also our podcast, LinkedIn Smart Podcast, and Diana already mentioned that we have a company which called Square Motion, a video marketing agency. But today we're going to talk about LinkedIn and why is LinkedIn important for us. Actually, important for us is from many different aspects, but I will not bore you with some long statistics and things like that. But still, 690 million registered users in 200 countries, that's quite a number. And if you look at where these numbers are coming from, obviously the big part is from United States, 17 million plus is in Canada. But if you look at our small country of UAE, we have 4 millions or more than 4 million registered users here in UAE, which is actually quite interesting if you think about that number per capita. Yeah, so more than 40% of the population actually of UAE is actually registered LinkedIn users, which is very, very interesting. So looking at some other statistics which we ran the other day, we've seen that actually people are spending more and more time on LinkedIn. So that will tell us that we as a business owners, we need to spend some more time and have more focus on LinkedIn, obviously. Yeah. There are some statistics that which again we run through our polls that people actually they start posting more as well, which is again interesting. And from business perspective, that also tells you something. So whenever you look at the data, it's always important to analyze it, how it reflects to your company or to your business. So I don't need to tell you that LinkedIn is the best social network for lead generation, and it has really much more dominance over Twitter and Facebook combined. So that's something which is very, very interesting. It's 277% more effective than Facebook and Twitter. So LinkedIn actually gives you credibility, drives referral, and attracts new business contacts. And today we're going to talk about this. There are 5 key elements which you need to think about when being active on LinkedIn. And the number 1, and that's a building block of all LinkedIn activities, is to really create a proper LinkedIn profile. And as Diana mentioned, create a killer LinkedIn profile. So that's the key number 1. Number 2 is engaging with the right audience, engaging with the target audience, engaging with the people you want to engage with. So that's number 2. Number 3 is connection, how to connect with the right people, you know, how to receive the connection, how to ask for connections. Those are also important parts of a LinkedIn. Number 4, it's about posting, all about posting, why to post, when to post, how often to post, all these kind of things. And we're going to talk about this as well. And number 5, and many people forgetting about this, that actually all this leads to conversion. So we actually need to drive some kind of business out of all these activities. So these are the 5 elements we're going to cover today in today's webinar. So let me start quickly because we don't have that much time. So number 1 is a LinkedIn profile, how to create a killer LinkedIn profile, which makes really good first impression. And all of it starts always from the profile headshot. Profile headshot is basically the building block of that first impression. So obviously the profile headshot is the photo, right? Profiles with a professional photo headshot receive 14 times more views, 9 times more connection requests, and 36 times more messages. So you see that really your profile headshot, your profile photo is extremely important. And I see so many mistakes out there. People are putting photos like this from the party, from the wedding, from you know, happy parent, then from different sports activities or adventures, and from you know, usually some artsy kind of style. So whenever you have photos like this, please use them on your Facebook, use them on your Instagram, put them on a TikTok. That's perfectly okay. Don't put them on LinkedIn. Those are no. Yeah, these are professional headshots which I would consider business-like, and those are photos which are actually suitable for LinkedIn. And as you can see, they have certain specifics which I'm gonna just talk about. First of all, they are always a passport format, so it's usually chest shot with inappropriate dress, with a white background, or at least single color background, not any busy background or anything, any banners behind you or anything like that. And then you need to look into the camera and have a big bright smile. As you can see here, dear friend of mine, Yvonne Spiller, she has a perfect photo on her profile. And if you don't believe me, what I'm telling you, you can always check it out with a, you know, maybe AI engine, some artificial intelligence. And if you go to this website, snapper.co, there will actually, there's a free analysis of your LinkedIn profile photo, and it will tell you what you need to do and how. Interesting. If you're still not sure, you can go another website which is called photofeeler.com, and you can check the likability, not just your LinkedIn photos, but some other from other social media. And obviously, you can actually receive even some comments from other users of that platform. So we're talking about first impression on the LinkedIn. We were talking about photo, and now we're going to talk about the headline, LinkedIn headline. LinkedIn headline is one of the most visible part of your LinkedIn profile, and it is a major factor in LinkedIn search algorithm. So it's extremely important. What I'm talking about is this lines below your name. So basically, where normally LinkedIn would put your designation or your who you are, managing director or VP of a marketing, something like this. But you can change it. And I will show you why I feel that for all of us as a business owners, we really need to take care of this and change the headline. There are 4 types of headlines which we can use. One is expert headline, another is customer facing headline, mission headline, and then entertaining headline. And I'm going to give you few examples of each of those so you have understanding of what is it and why. Number 1 is expert headline. Expert headline is usually used for real experts, governmental officials, maybe some people, scientists, and maybe some influencers. They might use something like this. So for them, the expertise is really something which drives attention of other people. Number 2 is a customer-facing headline. And me personally, because I'm a business owner, I really like using this customer-facing headline for all business owners out there. So usually customer-facing headline starts with helping, enabling, or I help, or I enable, I empower. And you put your target audience, you insert the target audience to do and what. So what is that you want them to do? And again, I will give you a few examples of the customer-facing headline just in a few minutes. Number 3 is a mission headline. Mission headline is really very much about governmental entities or maybe governmental officials. So this one, the first one is from His Excellency Sheikh Mohammed bin Zayed Al Maktoum. So we are building a new reality. So again, if the mission is the driving force behind your company, maybe you can think of a mission headline. Then there is an entertaining headline, and I wouldn't. There's so many entertaining headlines out there that you can really go. You can really see a lot of different things. Jack of all trades, master of none. The coolest guys in Nashville. So on and so forth. Again, as a business owner, I'm not really convinced that I would put anything like this into my headline. But yeah, if you think like that, yeah, be my guest. The mistakes which I can see many times is that people are using the cliche words like a proactive, capable, hardworking, and so on and so forth. Many times I see industry jargon. So when I read the headline, I don't really understand what it means. And many people, they use the three-letter abbreviations. So sometimes the headline looks like this, and you don't really know what this person does. And how can you connect with somebody you're not really sure who he or she is? So that's just some food for thought. I was talking about the customer-facing headline, which is really the headline which I personally like a lot, because as a business owner, I think I want to talk directly to my clients and customers through my headline as well. So this is one of the examples which you can use or you can have a look at. Helping retailers to find better performance, productivity, and profitability. Enterprise software engineer. So that's one example. You can have a look at another one. Empowering corporate professionals to wake up happy on Mondays. Career happiness coach. Very focused headline on, if you're a corporate professional and you're not really happy waking up on Monday, you probably want to talk to this person, right? Another very, very powerful headline. I help 7 SAS businesses to reach $10 million revenue. Who wants to be number 8? Again, very, very focused headline where you can directly talk to the right type of audience. And then one more, I help businesses turn clicks into customers. CEO of Fusion Creative Digital Marketing Agency. Again, clearly stating to whom, who is the target audience and what that person can do for them. So very interesting way how to position yourself straight with your headline. What are the mistakes? Usually what I see, if there are out there some, I don't really know what is today the audience, but I'm assuming that not many job seekers or but many times I see this as an example, so I just keep it here as an example. If you're looking for a job, please don't put that you're unemployed or seeking for opportunities, something like this. Always put your skills in there. That's more important than that. Yeah. So we're still talking about first impression on the LinkedIn. We were talking about photo. We were talking about headline. And the third important part of a first impression on LinkedIn is a LinkedIn banner. The LinkedIn banner, the big premium space above our photo, something which is really, really interesting. And many times people just don't use it for the brand. And I wonder why. Really, it's like, many times I give this example. It's like you have an access to big billboard on Sheikh Zayed Road, and you're not using it. You're not using it for your brand. Why wouldn't you do that? Like, if it's there, if it's for you, like why wouldn't you use it? So please do that and think.
VTech, I just looked at mine and I am as guilty as charged.
Diana, you're not the only one. There are so many others out there, and that's why I'm talking about this. Many times we see this blue banner. This is a default banner. Many people are keeping it there, and it's just a waste of space, and it's very premium space. Yeah. So please just think about it, that you can use it really for your brand. And here are some examples of how other people are using it. So for example, there is a book author. So they're featuring the book there, or he is featured in some Business Insider, and that's for him important, for Austin. So as you can see, he's doing that. Anthony James, he's a LinkedIn voice in Australia. He's a very, very big influencer in Australia from LinkedIn. So he wants that to be very premium. Whenever somebody visits his profile, that shouts out immediately. So just think about it, how you can turn your LinkedIn banner into something which works for you. Yeah. So here are some other examples, and I would really always advise to put some little logo somewhere. Just make it a little bit more corporate looking. If you wonder how to do that, how to design it, I always say just go Canva. Come on, guys. If you don't use Canva, this is a free graphic design platform where you can design whatever you want, not just LinkedIn banners. And they actually have LinkedIn banner templates. So if you want to if you want to create a LinkedIn banner, go to Canva, create it, just upload it. Voila, that's it. Nothing. You can spend virtually 15-20 minutes, and that's it. There's another platform which is called visme.com. It's a graphic design platform as well. You can go there. It's slightly different than Canva, but still very, very useful. So we're still talking about the first impression on LinkedIn. We were talking about photo, we were talking about headline, we were talking about banner, and now let's talk about LinkedIn summary. LinkedIn summary, now actually it's called the about section. And many times people think that it's their CV. No, it's not the CV. It's actually your story. And if you think about it, and if you start looking at it from this angle, you suddenly realize that maybe it's not written as a story. Maybe it's really written more like a CV. So just look at it from the story perspective. And if that is so, you will realize that it definitely need to be personable, right? You need to talk a little bit more about yourself and share that story in the first person. Many about sections are written in the third person. So I wouldn't do that. Again, I'm looking at it from the company owner or business owner. Yeah, be customer centric. So again, talk to your customers even through these stories, and always add call to action. Make it easier for your clients and customers to reach you. So even though they are not clickable links, still you can add your website, you can add your phone number, if that is so, or the phone number of your office, maybe email address, something like this. Make it easier for your customers to reach out to you. Yeah. So make first sentence count in a LinkedIn summary. I will do it just, you can use some industry keywords and the specific keywords for your industry, because LinkedIn is looking at the about summary and analyzing the keywords which you have there. Definitely cut the jargon. Don't use any industry specific jargon which nobody understands. So write it in a way that you're explaining it to your 5-year-old kid, and write how you speak. That's always a good tip. Use some paragraphs. So don't put the text, you know, and it looks like, you know, one continuous text and it's heavy to read. Yeah. And you can actually beautify that text with some icons and some graphic elements. And as I mentioned already, add some contact details, add some call to action, tell people how to find you. So there's an example of one LinkedIn summary, which it's okay. It's not great. It's not absolutely fantastic, but it's a good thing. As you can see, this person, Gijo, he's using some paragraphs. He's using some bullet points. So it looks very organized and corporate-like. So it's a very decent one. This one is using this, as I mentioned, you know, the small little icons and beautify the text. So suddenly it feels a little bit more fresh and easy to read. That kind of text. So maybe you can use. Don't overdo it, please. That's another thing. And yep. So that's why we are talking about these things, is that because LinkedIn is looking at your profile. If your profile is what they call all-star profile. So as you can see here in the green rectangle that's on your dashboard, you will see if your profile is actually all-star. And if it's not, then you can check this. This is the checklist in order to have the all-star rating for you on your profile. You need to have industrial location, minimum of 3 skills, profile photo, of course, uploaded, 50 connections, current position with description, 2 past positions, and education. So if you have this on your profile, you should be able to get this badge of an all-star profile. And all-star profile are always having a little bit edge over the other ones. So just that's why I'm just talking about it, how to do that. So the action points from all this section is: upload your professional headshot, create your customer-centric headline, design your LinkedIn banner, revise your about summary, complete your profile to all-star, and you can also upload videos, photos, and presentation to featured. We didn't talk about featured because that would take one day. That's all other part of the workshop and webinars. But there is a section on your profile which says featured, and you can actually upload some videos, photos, and other documents. So it's actually good to have it there. First key point of any activities on LinkedIn were LinkedIn profile, and now we're going to talk about LinkedIn engagement, how to actually engage on LinkedIn. And why I'm talking about engagement prior to posting or connecting is that if you start engaging with people, it makes it much easier to connect and to post. So the engagement always comes before the connections. So there's some kind of LinkedIn engagement strategy, as I call it, 3-step formula. Or I will see that this, okay. Actually it's a 3.5-step formula, to be honest. So number one is you need to search for your target audience. So how to engage with your target audience? Of course, you need to search first for that target audience. So you need to figure out who is your target audience and start searching for those particular people. LinkedIn is making it very easy to do that. Actually, the LinkedIn is equipped for all the search filters. It's absolutely fantastic. Then what you can do in number 2, if you so imagine I would like to reach out to Diana. Yeah. So I will search for her on a LinkedIn. I will see that she has a profile on LinkedIn. What I will do next, I will click on her profile and I'll visit her profile. Why would I do that? Because when I click on her profile, she will be prompted that I actually visited her profile, and that there is something is going on. I'm interested in her profile, so she will see that. What I will do, number 3, and that's really important part. I will see what kind of post she was posting in a past week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, and I will engage with her post. I will leave a meaningful comments on her post. So I will read a post what she posted, and then I will leave some meaningful comment. I don't mean like a or awesome or fantastic or I love it. Nothing like that. You know, meaningful comment. How did it make you feel? What is the aha moment while reading the post? And I guarantee you, if you do this with anybody who has not hundreds of comments on his post or her post, I guarantee you, you're gonna be noticed, because all of us, whoever is posting, we always check who is commenting on our post, and we like when somebody makes some meaningful comment to our post, and we notice those people, you know. And this is very important part in the engagement on the LinkedIn. The half step which I have there is basically just optional for anybody who is actually in your first degree connection. So imagine you have already that person, you're already connected with him, and you're kind of like reconnecting back, and you're trying to engage with that person. So what you can do actually to drive some visibility is actually endorse him for his or her skills. But that's already really applies only for first degree connections. Yeah. So this is really very powerful formula how you can engage with people on LinkedIn. Please resist selling. Really, like, it's so bad now, and I'm sure that all of us, we have this experience. You know, we are connecting with somebody, and the next thing what happens in our email, in our mailbox, I mean on the messenger box, on a LinkedIn, there lands some, you know, some proposal, or we can do website for you, and we do SEO, and we do digital marketing and all that. You don't even know that person. You have absolutely no clue who he or she is, and then somebody's trying to sell you something. We resist that very much. All of us, I'm sure if I ask all of you now, if you don't like it, I think 100% people will say, no, I don't like it. I don't want that. So please resist selling. And really what I mean, sometimes when we talk to our clients, and when we guide them through these principles, we tell them, you know, even asking people to, for example, to sign up for my newsletter, that's a sell. Maybe, you know, doing some, visit my website and give me, you know, your review or something, or give me a review or something like that. That's a sell as well. You know, you asking people who you don't know to do something. Why would they do that? And then what's the ground? You know, you didn't build any engagement first. You don't have that capacity to actually ask people for this. So be really mindful and not sell on a first go. Definitely not good. Other parts of the LinkedIn engagement, what you can do, obviously, one of the things is join industry relevant LinkedIn groups. Honestly speaking, I'm not really sure how many really good LinkedIn groups are out there. LinkedIn groups used to be very good, then they went really bad, and then now they're kind of like not really great. There's not really much engagement in them. There are some, they're still doing quite well, but yeah. Anyway, you need to check it out. But in order to actually, there's another caveat why to be in the LinkedIn groups, and I will talk about it a little bit later. Like and comment LinkedIn articles. That's just a different part of not the post, but articles as well. You can customize your URL address, and I will show you how to do that, and engage with your profile viewers. So you actually, if you're a premium, okay, if you're a free user of a LinkedIn, you can check certain, I think only 3 to 5 days, whoever visited your profile, or a certain number of people who visited your profile. Yeah. As a premium users, you can actually see 90 days back who actually visited your profile. So that's very interesting, because probably if people visited your profile, they might be your, maybe you can check it out, maybe they might be your potential clients, and you can start some kind of conversation with those people. So that's another way how to engage on LinkedIn. Always engage before connecting. So if you really engage, if you really start doing this commenting, liking, visiting the profile, you will see that really many times what happens that actually these people will ask you for connection. So you don't need to actually ask them for connection. Yeah. So always engage before connecting is really important. I mentioned that you can customize your URL and that can be done in your privacy settings. So if you can click on me and go to settings and privacy and edit your public profile, you can check that there is a edit your custom URL, because LinkedIn will give you the standard, usually it will give you some kind of strings of numbers and names and stuff like this. So you can actually customize it to your linkedin.com/in/ and your name. Yeah. So that's actually quite useful and quite handy to have that kind of profile. I mentioned that there is a caveat why you should be in the LinkedIn groups, and that's the one, because if you're part of the same group, you can message somebody even though you're not connected with them as a first degree. So, you know, if you're a free user, you cannot really message anyone out of your first degree connection, right? But if you're part of the same group, you can actually do that. So that's the benefit of being part of a LinkedIn group. You can actually create, you can actually connect with the people from your second degree connections. If you want to check how are you actually doing with on LinkedIn and how are your activities, there is something which called Social Selling Index, which basically tells you if you're creating professional brand, if you're finding the right people. So this is if you go to that link, linkedin.com/sales/SSI, it will give you a certain number. And LinkedIn is basically evaluating your activities on LinkedIn, on the platform, and will tell you if you're doing well. And I mean, if you like that kind of analysis, it's okay. I won't comment on it anymore. So action points from this section is you can always identify 5 people you want to connect with and start engaging with them. So visit the profile, gather the intelligence. Engage with their posts and articles, as I mentioned, leave the meaningful comments, and then repeat that, you know, maybe for 1 week, maybe for a few days, but see what happens. And as I'm telling you, you know, many of our clients who are actually doing this, you know, not that they need to connect with those people, but actually those people who they want to connect with, they're actually sending them connection requests because they're becoming highly visible to them. So it's really, really good. LinkedIn. Now let's talk about LinkedIn connection. How to connect with ideal clients on LinkedIn. Connect with people you know. I know it sounds, you know, like, yeah, that's quite obvious, right? Like stating the obvious. But how many times we actually went back and connecting with people on LinkedIn in our past clients or our alumni or people we know from, you know, from some time ago. Maybe we had a business relationship with them, but we never connected with them on LinkedIn. Those are low-hanging fruits. I can tell you straight away, those are low-hanging fruits. Please go through your email, go through your email communication, through your business list, and see who you were in touch with and who you can connect with on internet, on the LinkedIn, as a people who you know. Because many times, and again, we have this experience all the time, you know, when we work with our clients and we tell them this, you know, they go back, they connect with, you know, few of the previous clients on LinkedIn, and suddenly there's a business worth, you know, 50,000 dirhams, 30,000 dirhams. You know, because just, you know, we had already the prior experience. People, they know us. So it's much easier to connect with them. And as I mentioned, though, these are long-hanging fruits. Of course, you should connect with people you want to know. So, and that comes down to our focus, to our laser focus on our target audience. We need to be absolutely laser focused on the people we want to connect with, and not just to connect with anybody and everybody, but be really clear of who is our target audience and who we want to be connected with on LinkedIn. It's important. And if you do that, then and you want to send that connection request, I always urge all of you, please add a personalized note. So do not send the connection request, just connect, that's it. Always add some personalized note, and the personalized note can always, you can always put something there. Why do you want to connect with that person? Or why do you think that there's a benefit between, you know, in that connection. So it's important to actually personalize this. You will definitely stand out because majority of the people, they just simply don't do that. There are some secret connection tips which I would like to share with you, and that's how to find warm prospects. So see who is actually commenting with on your post, see who is visiting your profile, and if it's appropriate, just ask them again, ask them for connection, add the note. It's very, very easy. I know that this is really not applicable at this moment because we are not meeting physically. All of us, and the events are not happening. But if you are actually a networking event, what you can switch on your mobile app, you can find nearby feature. So that's very interesting. And then you can actually connect with the people who are on that networking event through the LinkedIn. It's very, very interesting. Bluetooth
exactly, Vitek. That is one of our favorite tools when we have online meetings. We've used that all the time, and people are surprised because you'd be surprised how many people don't know that tool.
Absolutely, absolutely, Anna. I'm talking to people and they say, "Well, I've never heard of it before," and that it's such an easy tool to really connect, with the right audience where you in a part of a certain networking event.
Yes, it's quite good. Thank you.
We normally advise also people just to create a follow-up message sequence, because if you start creating connections and you connect with more people, you want to take them somewhere, you want to lead that conversation somewhere, if it's right target audience, if it's your prospect. So it's like with the sales conversation, you have your message sequence, you know what you're going to talk first, you know what you're going to talk second. And even though if you're not absolutely following that, to have that message sequence is really, really important. You can actually download the list of your connections from LinkedIn. Not many people know that as well. So again, if you can go to your privacy settings, you see the part where it says how LinkedIn uses your data, and you can get a copy of the data. Not everybody's emails are listed there, so just be mindful that the majority or a lot of people, they're actually not listing. So it's not any automation tool there are some tools which they call it that they're scraping the data, they're scraping the emails from the LinkedIn. This is not it. This is the official part where LinkedIn gives you the information which it has to its disposal. Action points from this: write approximately 3 versions of your connection request, prepare your follow-up sequence, identify your specific target audience you want to connect with, and send connection request at least 5 people a day. So you should really strive for at least kind of like 100 connection requests a month in your target niche, in your target audience. Yeah. Again, I just wanted to add some interesting thing. This is Crystal Knows is actually on a Chrome, is extension of Chrome, where you can log into it and it will scan the LinkedIn of that particular person or on the profile you're on, and it will check the personality traits of your client. It's an interesting tool. You can check it out. I think it gives you seven profiles for free before you need to pay. So now let's go to the point number 4, and that's how and what to post on LinkedIn. Why, what, and when? Obviously, those are important questions, and let me talk about each of them. So first of all, why to post on LinkedIn? We always start with why, right? Like Simon Sinek. You can always start with that you want to create a conversation. So if you want to post on LinkedIn, always have that in mind. I want to start conversation. What you can have, like, why would you do the post on LinkedIn? You want to share some value. That's another thing. Another one is building the trust. You want to build trust, with your personal brand as well as the company you represent. You can also demonstrate some expertise, develop relationships, and generate new business. So those are basically some reasons why to post on the LinkedIn. I think they are kind of like quite obvious, but many times when people telling us, again, some of our clients, they come to us and they say, you know what, I'm posting on LinkedIn so many times, but actually nobody is engaging with them. And then when we look at them, when we analyze the post, we realize that actually there is nothing to, they don't start the post with a conversation. They just basically, that's their PR of the, this is my product number 1, this is my product number 2, or this is what we got in our company. So it's a PR list of accomplishments, what they did, but there's nothing to really engage with as a viewers, as a readers. So think about how can you start conversation? How can you share value? How can you build trust and expertise and all that, in sense that, your clients will actually start engaging with those posts. It's interesting angle, definitely. So what you can post on a LinkedIn, obviously you can start with some short form content. And what I mean by short form, I normally post on a LinkedIn. Okay, I will not tell you how many times I post now. I will tell you later. But one of my posts on LinkedIn is always this, just a short quote, inspirational quote, something like this. So that's very short form content. You can write it within a couple of seconds, and that's it. If that is all. This is a longer form content. Obviously, you need to spend a little bit more time and preparation to do this. But then the engagement level should be also higher. Yeah? You can add to this long form content photo, which makes it even more visual, and people are engaged with the visuals much more than with other. And one of the main things which now LinkedIn is promoting are videos. And videos are really getting a lot of eyeballs, because LinkedIn like to use videos, because they know that because you're watching videos, you're staying on a platform longer, and that's always the important part. So if you think about getting better engagement with your clients, definitely think about how to create more videos in your mix. About a month ago, LinkedIn introduced polls, which are again very interesting type of a post, because you can actually ask people certain questions, and you can actually gather data from this. So I use it personally to create a lot of different posts. How often do you post? How long do you spend? How much time you spend on LinkedIn? And I really get a lot of data from the LinkedIn audience, which is fantastic, and I can really use it, for example, for these kind of webinars. Also, what you can post are articles. Articles are basically the blog post of a LinkedIn on LinkedIn, and they're showing your expertise much more than just the post updates. You can also add some presentations, which are very, very interesting and very engaging for many people. And if you still don't know what what to inspire you, what to post, it's actually these are inspirations which I wanted to share with you. So if you want to post something on LinkedIn, just think about what inspired you in the past week. What are the common questions, for example, which your clients are asking? Maybe you can create some top 10 list. Maybe you can react to some other post and add some little value to that. You can create and share some infographics. They're also very, very engaging. You can highlight some customer or product. You can also point out certain common mistakes which are happening in your industry, or trends. Maybe you can reveal your process, how you do certain things. If you're writing a book or you have a podcast, you can promote that through this. You can, of course, comment on industry news. You can share your biggest challenges or wins, and of course, also you can interview a client or give a shout out to your guru. So those are all just inspirations for you to think about. If you tell me, well, I don't really know what to post, yeah. And still, if you're not happy with that, you can always go to websites like answerthepublic.com, where you can see some what people are asking about, and then you can create a content around that. Another one is Quora, right? Like there's another platform which people just asking questions, so you can create a content around that to get a little bit more engagement. So. Now let's talk about when to post on LinkedIn, how often to post on LinkedIn. So that's a tricky one. I told you that I will tell you how often do I post. I post 3 to 5 times a day on LinkedIn. I want from our clients, when we work with, a post at least 3 times a week. I push them more, usually to 5 times a week, because the more visible they are with a good content, good quality content, of course, the more visibility they build for themselves, it's better for them. It's usually better to post during the working hours. I know that during the COVID and the lockdown period, the hours we consume online content went far towards the evening hours, actually. There are some studies from people, they just mentioned that but I think, like us coming back to the new normal, as we call it, I would definitely keep that working hours as that the framework where you wanna post. You can actually, what you can do also, whenever you post some specific information, and you know that there are some relevant people who would benefit from it, you can tag those people in your post, so you will receive a little bit more engagement on that. And another thing about posting is adding the hashtags. Hashtags, usually LinkedIn suggests and recommends to use maximum of 3 hashtags. It should be relevant to the post. It shouldn't be just, like an off topic, but should be relevant to the post, and it will help you again to get a little bit more visibility on your post. So we were talking about all these parts, and then the last part of this is how to actually convert. I'm keeping the close. So okay, let's just jump quickly through it. So of course, the LinkedIn strategy about converting is about how to search for the ideal clients, how to communicate with them in an inbox, and taking them afterwards slowly offline into our mail, and then just actually talking to them about the business. And that's a whole different part of things which we can talk about probably later. Is LinkedIn for me? That's a good question which I get asked many times, and I can answer. LinkedIn brings you visibility if you're putting some number of hours on a monthly basis into it. Being visible to your clients means that they will probably, and if your content is relevant, they will of course suddenly fear look at you as an expert. You're more credible to them. And if you're more credible, if they trust you more, there are more chances that they will form a business relationship with you, and you can drive some business leads out of your LinkedIn. So this is the reasoning behind why we're talking about LinkedIn and why we're going through all these 5 steps until here. And at the end, I would like to just show you this because sometimes as a business owners, we always ask, okay, if I invest my time, if I invest my energy, what does it do for me? Is there any ROI which I can actually, I can put my hands on? So this is what we came up with, some weirdly looking formula, but I will explain to you just very briefly. Imagine that you want to calculate the ROI of your activities. So you have 100 connections per month. Out of these 100 connections, only 35% will be your potential clients. So that's the CR, yeah? Out of this 35%, only 20% of those people will actually become your clients, yeah? If their lifetime value, that's the LTV, is 15,000 dirhams, then your ROI of this activity is 105,000 dirhams. I think that's not bad, right? Like for activity which happens around LinkedIn, this is the ROI which you can create. And I just slide in here our little sales pitch here. We actually work with clients to help them to reach that. So to get not just 100 clients, but actually more, and be more focused on the target audience. So it's not just 35% out of this 100, but it's actually usually our numbers are usually close to 65, 70%, and out of this 70%, because it's such a easy way how you can search and for your target audience, you're talking to the right audience and you're talking to the warm leads, then of course the lead generation is much higher and has a much higher conversion rate. So we are offering just, there is something which we call LinkedIn Business Audit. If you're interested, please reach out to me. I will actually leave my LinkedIn profile here as well, and we can talk. We're offering the webinar price is normally it's $259. It's 60 minutes, basically video session where we look at your business, look at how do you do things on the LinkedIn, and we will suggest exactly the strategy. We'll give you the reports, and you can actually, if you want to, you can do it all by yourself, and no other things. So you will get the content strategy and things like that. So that's pretty much it from me, I guess. Yeah, that's this is me. I would be more than happy if you can connect with me on LinkedIn, and I'll leave this in the comment section as well. So over to you, Dan.
Fantastic. Oh, well, thank you so much. That was so kind of you to leave us the possibility of doing that session, because I can just see from even half the pointers that you gave, not even half, a third of the pointers, a professional direction that you're able to give us is absolutely amazing. The only other thing I was going to ask you was that we were hoping that in the future that we might be able to do another session with you coming later on, because this would be something to look at, or even create a smaller or a larger group of maybe a hands-on class or something like that. We might be able to do a course for you, because I think while we were going through it, I honestly did pick up my phone and go, I haven't got a banner, or that's where I did change my URL as we spoke too. So these are types of things that we might be able to help people for, to go ahead. Please go ahead, write in your Q&As for while we can. We have a few more minutes for the questions and answers. I also want to obviously, thanks so much, VTech and obviously Square Motion to be with us today. Giving back is so important. That's why we're creating all these webinars for our members and friends, because this is our give back time. It's always been our give back time, but we're giving back even more. We all deserve it. And I also want to thank Heba and Sangeeta. They're working like crazy people in the background to make sure you get all the information. You're asking slides. Well, we won't have to worry about the slides, because you'll be having the video up, so you guys can reread and relook and screenshot your lives away once it up is on the YouTube channel. We also will be sending, obviously, VTech's information, if you don't mind, so that you can get directly in contact with you. We do have a question here today. It says, thank you for that. First of all, it is from Maha. And what is your opinion about Lempod?
Yeah. So Maha, thank you very much for this question. Maha is referring, for you who don't know, it's basically automation tools. There are some automation tools out there which help you with some visibility, some engagement, things like that. Obviously, from the LinkedIn perspective, LinkedIn doesn't like anything like that, any kind of third-party automations. They try to track down these, and they will shut down. And sometimes you can get to what we call LinkedIn jail. They will suspend your profile for a certain number of hours and all the things like that. So there are people who are using Lampod, Alcapod, all different engagement pods. To help a little bit of visibility. What I would suggest, if you really want to do this, we actually created, among us and our clients, we created a WhatsApp group. And the WhatsApp group basically is sort of a Lampod or this engagement pod. So whenever we create a content, we know who is within that WhatsApp group. We post our content in there, and people actually click on that link and helping one another with the visibility, with leaving the comments. Because as you know, for LinkedIn algorithm, the most important is the first hour of engagement. So whenever you post something within the first hour, then you need to get a lot of likes, some meaningful comments and things like that. So that's again, important part when you think about creating your content. Create the content the way that actually drives that kind of traffic, drives that kind of, so it is, maybe it's a little bit controversial, don't be afraid to voice your opinion. I don't mean like to shame or blame anybody, but have your opinion, because that drives certain traffic as well to your post, and it sparkles that conversation. So me personally, coming back to your question, me personally, I wouldn't really recommend using any third-party tool unless you know that it's safe, and nobody will actually guarantee you that. And I know that people, they got into LinkedIn jail because of that. So they account suspended and completely wiped out. So you always have that possibility there. But on the other hand, just try to be a little bit more creative. Create a group with your friends, and then whenever somebody's posting, maybe the other person can help you with the visibility, and vice versa. That's my answer to that.
Okay, yeah, and Maha wrote afterwards she actually finds it kind of the site itself quite annoying, so she doesn't like it herself either. My question is, do you have to be? Can you use what is obviously the free LinkedIn, and there's the what is it called, the platinum, gold, or something LinkedIn? Yeah. That's a question that's popping up. Is it so important in your game to have the paid LinkedIn?
Yeah, so that's a very, very good question, and I always tell, I get this question very, very often. So my answer is always very simple: use free LinkedIn account. As long as you're using free LinkedIn account and you're not hitting any limits with your free LinkedIn account, that you're okay. But as long as you're trying to, as long as you suddenly start hitting the limits, means, for example, you cannot search for more connections, or you suddenly, you want to reach out to some other people, and then you cannot, because that's, the free account is limiting you from reaching out to other people. Then this is the time where I need to look into buying or paying for LinkedIn, and then figuring out what is right for me. For all the sales guys out there, or people who are business owners, they want to really use LinkedIn as a sales tool, a lead generating tool. I think there's no brainer. We need to start straight away from Sales Navigator, because that will kind of like it will take your lead generation on LinkedIn from a different or completely different level. And that's a whole different workshop, and that's a whole different webinar talking about.
Yeah, we'll get to that. I still think we should be doing a workshop. I do have a question there, but I will ask the panel. I will ask all our participants that are on today. Would you be interested in doing a course with us with the CBC Dubai, and obviously the WeTech? A course designed around you for even 1 or 2 sessions. If you're interested, just put your hand up in the chat. There's a hand up thing. We'd like to know that. While you guys are answering us, it would be lovely to know is we've got from DF is how do recruiters search? Is it primarily the title under your name, or tag skills, etc.? There you go.
It's a very good question. LinkedIn is a vast platform for, and then it can be used in many different ways. Very honestly, I am a business owner. I use LinkedIn from business perspective. I'm not somebody who is a recruiter and looking at the LinkedIn from recruiter's perspective. So I don't really know how exactly recruiters search works and what they do, but what I know that normally they search for skills. So that's why when you're like looking for a new opportunity in your tagline, usually that's not really, like, I know from people who are actually looking at LinkedIn from that recruiter's perspective, they teaching that they're saying don't do that, because nobody's searching for looking new opportunity, or none of the recruiters is searching for that. So I'm not really good person to answer this, because I'm not an expert on LinkedIn from recruiter's perspective. But what I know from what I'm hearing from other LinkedIn trainers and coaches who are actually specialists in this, they always say do not do that, because so I hope I'm answering that correctly.
Yeah, well, that actually makes sense. But again, I think the bottom line here is you need a killer LinkedIn profile. So that way, whoever's looking at you or whatever however they're searching, eventually they're going to get to your profile. And if your profile is what they expected or what they're reading into it, I think you're there. The poll results are in, so that it just says, how often did you use LinkedIn? Daily, we're 40%. Weekly, 53%, monthly 7%, and not at all were 0. So I'm happy there was a not at all, which is really good. So yeah, that's important to know. Listen, I think our time has run to an end, and I'm so sorry. Probably I want to check if there's any other quick questions. Someone actually said, I believe recruiters look for keywords in the person's profile, and that's from Canan. I think they're probably correct too. I mean, I'm sure everyone has their way of how they're going to look up the profile. Every company, every recruiter is different. But the bottom line is here, we need to have a VTech and people like you to help us clean up our acts. Because obviously sometimes we're not the best representation devices for ourselves. We don't see ourselves in the correct manner. And that is a shame, because you're not for recruiters as well. They don't know how wonderful we are if our profile, which is like our business card, our virtual business card. So yes, we got to clean up our virtual business card, especially now with all the online things that are going. A lot of people will look at you. And I agree with the picture part, and be as much as you can in your picture. If you're a smiley person, you smile more, or whatever the case may be. So thank you. I don't know how to thank you, but all I can do is invite you back and have you back again. That would be a thanks for us, but I would be so happy to have you back again. We'll have to look on about maybe in a month or so or 2 months, creating a little course, because I think that is vital. Thank you so much again for our participants. You guys stay safe. We've got your back, okay? And we are here for the long run, guys, so you will be too. So we're looking forward to having you back again. So thank you, VTech, and thank you, everybody, all the guys in your office. Well, and they're already saying hello and goodbye. We've got those chats. Yes, we'll be putting that YouTube video up there for you.